Okay, so I went on ahead and did a little bit of grinding off camera. This is what everybody's level's looking like now. I've also went on ahead and got everybody probably the most up-to-date or highest level armor that I believe would suit them the best. That I believe is the amethyst set. And also I crafted a new magic emblem from Rinwell because I just happen to have the materials ready for it. But I think that is enough grinding and we should be able to move on with the story, though I still am a little wary of Falcon Supplies. Hello everybody, my name is Dave, you can call me Zen, and welcome back to another episode of Tales of Arise. In the previous episode, we basically did a whole bunch of side quests and just kind of did a little bit more preparation as we go on ahead and get ready to move on to the next section of the game. So what I essentially did was that I cleared out both this area and the previous dungeon by more or less just turning on a happy bottle and just wiping out the entire field while trying to keep my battle gauge up, and then selling those excess materials as a result. I don't think this is the way that we're supposed to head, but it might be. It's very, very difficult to say at the moment.
I think Hoodle senses an owl around here.
But I am excited as ever to finally get a move on with the story, especially after hunting monsters for so long.
I won't forgive you.
So one of the things that I was thinking about was essentially, when do I, claim those DLC items? Because one of the things that I had thought about when it comes to a lot of games like this is that I am not entirely sure when I can say, you know what, I'm tired of grinding. Let's just go on ahead and do this so that way we can. Oh, whoops. Okay, good to know that keeps me near. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Oh, I see a comment. So yeah, basically, when will I say that enough is enough and that, I don't want to do this grinding anymore. So that way we can just kind of get along with the story and not have to worry about having like filler episodes and then realizing that I need more time via another filler episode.
There's always room for
It's just one of those things that I have to just kind of consider and keep in mind, just to keep the pacing of the series overall intact. Because that's one thing that I've always kind of valued a lot as a game creator is just a prioritization on making sure that during the time that I do record content that we are doing stuff that contributes to the main story in the grand scheme of things, I still haven't decided to an extent of like completionism, is that a word? I'm gonna definitely have to move the two different buttons, but how far I want to go on ahead and complete this game, because there's a degree of completionism that I can try to go for, like, trying to beat all the side quests, but this is just like asking questions like, okay, well, what about the arena? Do you want to finish the arena? Or, sorry, fear mimics. Or do I want to do, like, other things that may contribute to how much time is being spent? All these are just very, very important things to kind of consider when making a series, especially blind ones like these where I haven't played this game. So, it's gonna be an interesting experience. So, oh, I see the owl. It's on that side. Means I go down and around. All right, there we go. We got the angel wings from the owl. Let's continue on. Looks like we need one more owl before Rinwell can get her next little title that she can work on. Okay.
Could have been worse.
So, as I was just saying before, yeah, it's just all stuff that I'll figure out eventually. It's not a very huge deal that I have an answer for this right this second, because I imagine the series still has some time to go on before I have to kind of make that decision anywho. We still have a lot of main story to go through. But I will say, if I do decide to do some more preparation besides the main story, which is probably pretty likely, I will most definitely probably look up the owls. That's gonna be the one thing that I probably will completely look up. And there might be a world where I try to get all the weapons, or at least all the craftable weapons. I don't know if there's an actual achievement for having all the weapons in your inventory, but I will try to strive for, well, not all the weapons, but what was I gonna say? Maybe not all the weapons, but just like enough of them, you know? I'm not sure exactly how many weapons there are in the game, but I guess not. When I say enough of them, I mean, you guys had seen, I decided to finally like to sell the weapons that I've been holding on to because I was hurting for gold, only to find out that some of the later weapons required you to use those same weapons to put them together. And that was just one of those moments where I was like, bro, this is probably things that I wish I knew before I had started playing Talesofarise. That you are perfectly fine to sell your armor, but please keep your weapons. Some of the frames in this game are still absolutely gorgeous. But while we still have, this, I'm gonna call it battle high because it's effectively, that's effectively what it is. You should definitely try to fight off as many of these monsters as you can because the fact that there's so much loot like tied to them. Ooh, that steering goes nasty. I should probably switch up the parties sometime soon as well. I've enjoyed this party a lot, but I feel like having 3 melee people might be a little bit too much. Normally, I think I had said in a previous video about other Tales games, but something that I think about a lot when it comes to team composition is that I actually have an offensive spellcaster, a mixed healer and offensive user,
Any injuries?
a healer, and then you know, anything else from there. And can we also talk about the 11 spherical shells I just got? That is a crazy amount. We could do fishing there at some point too.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Actually, you know, he brings up a good point. I think that we should at least yeah, harvest everything that's currently at the ranch. We'll get some miracle feed going, and then we'll just give free feed to those. We're good there, and we really don't have too much to sell. We can sell maybe 10 of these, and we can sell, oh my goodness, we got literally all of our money back. 20 of those. Yeah, as you guys can see, I did do try my best to do a little bit of preparation prior to you know, going out again. And now we're pouring. But I do not think that that's that big of a deal because of the fact that we can always farm and restock, especially off of these guys currently. So I'm not entirely sure if this is actually the spot that we're supposed to be going.
A dead end?
No, there's an elevator. Looks operational.
Okay, where are we? I might have been going the totally wrong way. No, I don't think so. This looks like the area that we're actually supposed to be at. Sweet.
I can't believe there's actually an underground harbor here. There are even boats docked.
I only see Danins. Think they were forced to work here?
Probably. Let's see what they have to share about Almadria.
Okay, so looks like we actually made it to the correct spot. This game has a way of like working its navigation. I kind of just completely wung it.
What's this thing?
And we ended up in the correct spot. So this is probably the ship that they were maybe roughly referring to. Doesn't look like we can enter it from this half. I just want to make sure that while I'm doing this, that when we do these like pass-throughs and everything, right, that we just get all the loot that basically we can get.
You didn't happen to see a lord come by, did you?
Sorry, friend, but she just left. Came by with a whole posse of underlings, boarded her ship, and took off at first wind. We damn near got blown away. She was that much in a hurry.
Damn, so we missed her.
You guys trying to go after her? Need a ride?
Yes, because we're the Flaming Sword of
Are you saying
Calaglia.
you know how to steer a ship?
Spent most of my life chained to the deck of some ship or other. Yeah, I know my jib from my boom.
We don't know how
What kind of
dangerous
thing's a
it'll
jib
be.
for my boom?
Better you give us the boat and stay on solid ground.
Whoa there. You been out on the water before? The sea ain't nobody's friend, you know. You need a sea dog like me or you'll sink her before she makes it out the harbor.
You know,
We're
that's a
losing
very
time.
valid point.
Sir,
But I wonder if we're going to have
what do
sea
you
travel
get?
moving
Now
forward.
that's more like it. Name's Mahavar. Just give me a holler when you're all set and we'll set sail.
Well, thankfully, the little bit of grinding that we did prior to going there might have actually just set us up for success, or more success than not. So let's talk to him. Actually, let's sleep and make camp. Yeah, we have the fast travel here at the wharf, so we can... Let's sleep at a camp. When I did some grinding off camera, I realized that I had some dialogue with a good chunk of
We
the
should
party
be
with
able to cook
Alphen.
here.
So there's a pretty solid chance that when we do the
The
resting
vermilion
here,
vegetation certainly gives the...
we can chat with somebody. I'm gonna take the healing effect for this,
I must admit, I'm rather
if
proud of...
only because that way I can stay relatively sustained. All right, let's talk to Rinwell. Rinwell's been getting a lot of fleshing out
Well,
this time
mind
around,
if we
so
chat a little?
let's see.
I noticed you haven't been training Huda lately. Is he doing okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He's been catching fish with Kisara, and he seems to be adjusting his diet on his own, so I'm not as worried as before.
Maybe that's his way of pitching in, so you don't have to do everything for him.
Yeah, maybe. I guess at some point he started taking a shine to everyone too, just like they did to him.
You sound like you're okay with that.
Yeah, more than okay, really. It feels natural having Hoodle and everyone around.
I know what you mean. We all support and take care of each other in our own ways. It's starting to feel like we're almost a family.
Huh, I hadn't thought of it like that. So does that make you
Why'd you have to
everybody's
ruin it,
dad?
Rinwell?
Do I really look that old to you?
Huh? You don't like that? Okay, how about you be the big brother? Shion is the big sister, and Kisara can be our mom.
Not well. To be
then
fair, I've been
how
calling
about
Kisara
Dohalim
mother in
for
our
the dad?
thumbnails.
I don't really get that kind of vibe from Dohalim. He's more like an uncle. An old uncle, who's too preachy and snarky for his own good sometimes. And as for Law... Well, Hoodle took the little brother role, and Law's
Wait, why did Hoodle take the little brother?
definitely
He's
not
he's the
dad.
animal.
This is hard. Oh! Law can be the pet dog.
Oh dear.
Dog. Do dogs really count as part of a family?
Yes, they do, Alphen.
Of course they do.
There's
If
a
an owl can be
demographic
part
that
of our
would
family,
that
so
would
can a dog.
just destroy
When you think about it like
Alphen
that,
for
we
even
have
the
a pretty
notion of
fun
that.
family.
Yeah, a pretty big one as well.
That's why I like it so much. I wish we didn't have to do anything dangerous. I just want to keep traveling the world with you guys the way we are right now.
You okay?
Oh, it's nothing. Actually, I think I'm gonna go practice with Hoodle for a bit.
I wish
We should really get some
we had
rest.
gotten some more depressed inflections at the moment, but that was a really good interaction between those two. It's nice to kind of see how Rinwell
I wanna
actually
go
kind of
back to
has been
bed.
feeling and adjusting to everything. Also, I fought these things off camera. I do not like fighting things. These chameleon lizards. No, thank you. With that said, before we head out, I think there's an action over here. Yeah, I didn't notice this the first time I was over there, so... Oh, it's a healing action. That's going to take all the CP that I literally just got. So, Seabream. And that got her the Goddess of Kind. How extra sounding. Ooh, we get improved healing arts for her there. Okay, not bad.
I wonder just how many people have been saved by Shion in some form. I'm impressed.
Okay. Dohalim, I know that you were gonna comment on how good of a person Shion has been, especially lately, but we gotta go. And of course, I could have just went to camp and slept the night again. We talked to maybe somebody else if the game allowed it, but
people being saved by a Renin
it's
vision
not,
of
I'll say it's not
beauty.
too bad. It's not too
Vision of
serious.
beauty? That's a bit
Okay, ready to go? Let's set sail.
much.
Alphen had better stay on his toes.
Look at her go. Sometimes I'm like, I want to try my best to be centered. I realized that in previous episodes, I'm pretty sure I'm actually angled like this. But because the fact that I have the
This
game
is like
on a
a
different
dream
monitor
come
now,
true.
it's
Never got
gonna look a little different.
Before. Never would have thought I'd get a chance like this. Thank you, y'all.
The pleasure's all ours. Think we'll catch up to her?
Of course we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile,
What do you
this
mean?
ship's carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
Do you know if there are any Danons on that ship?
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Danons on board.
Makes sense.
On the other hand, I'd be real surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves.
So this is
In any
going to be
case,
another
it's gonna
dungeon,
be a while
basically.
before we reach her. Until then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
That's an odd one. And it's actually been a while since we've had what I've called like these forced party disband moments. So this is gonna be fun. Let's talk to Law.
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, somehow the sea is different though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever.
It kind of reminds me of Zelda
My old
Wind
man would
Waker
have been
in
blown
that
away
sense when
by
I was
this
younger.
view.
Yeah,
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end.
That he
I
probably
keep
loves
going
you.
over
I
his
totally
words
forgot what he was
again
saying.
and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almadria, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
I think that you did
You're not
the
the
right
only
thing to
one.
an extent.
I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal. Thanks, Alphen.
That was a very cute interaction between those two. I think that him internalizing, kind of processing everything that he's just did up to this point in comparison to his late father, that's actually something that's pretty important to kind of think about. I think I want to save Rinwell for last. So let's so we're probably going to talk to Dohalim next, then Kisara, then Shion, then Rinwell. Because I think Rinwell probably has the most to say.
Someone might just
But
come along and
we'll
paint
see.
you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almadria?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegus.
Ah, right. I almost forgot about Lenegus. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved. Perhaps they see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Because a lord, if they
Almadria
beat
did.
us, they get all the master cores,
Has
right?
it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almadria do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously.
So she could use that as like
It
a
is
last
means
minute
to
like
an end,
boost
nonetheless.
to her amount.
No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Rena really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almadria resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It was traumatizing.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Danans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Sar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone.
No.
Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Danan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
Very well.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you
Like,
seem
their
to think
talk was
you
longer
can,
than
at
what it
least.
felt like Law's
Does
talk
that make us
was.
enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
That was an interesting end to that conversation. Alright, Sarah, what about you? I hope you're not getting
You
seasick.
don't look so good.
Oh,
You
she's
all
getting
right?
seasick.
The floor. It keeps moving. How can you
Poor
stand?
thing.
How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort. I can't feel pain, remember?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations
You know, I think
for
that there's
Almadria were
always
already pretty low.
someone in a Tales
The
game who
way
either
she
gets like
treated
seasick
human
or
lives
can't
like they're
swim,
mere
doesn't like
playthings.
water.
Yeah.
It's just a staple, so I
And
guess
it wasn't as
Kisara's
if the
this
situation
game's
in Niaz was
person for
improving
that.
much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim.
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Danans. But then I met Shion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated.
I can
It's
understand
even
that.
messier now that we have to worry about Danans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Danans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though, maybe that was just a biased perspective from being on the side of the oppressed.
I would agree with that.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us. But nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Danan people, but that won't undo 300 years of oppression. It'll be hard for them to not give in to their resentment. I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almadria did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, It's not solely something
Actually,
the
that's a good
Renans
point.
invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Danans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I was
saw it
thinking.
in Deadheim's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Bayfon tell it, Deadheim wasn't always that way.
But as time went on, and he and the Darkwings fought the Renans, he eventually changed. I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, was there even any point in fighting?
These are all important
That
questions.
world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not.
You just
But
want a
to
world
tell
where
you the
everyone lives
truth,
equal, right?
These days, I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Megal, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And
I
then
100% agree with you.
there's you.
Who, me?
You and Shion.
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Danans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
You just opened,
I
like,
suppose
you
it's
got her
really
to open
all a
up.
matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry. Can you just give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
Poor thing's getting seasick. All right, we have 2 more people. Let's talk. Let's talk to Shion next. Then we're required to talk to Rinwell next. Well, never mind. And you get a whole
Do
cutscene.
you think Law is okay?
He's
If
fine. I
you're
already
worried,
chatted with
why don't
him.
you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almadria, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me.
I think he's like, I can still help you.
I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside.
That's
And
not
yet,
their fault.
Cislodius Danans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Sar has people like Deadheim. But then there are people like Law and Shion. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
You had one way of thinking, and now that you're seeing all the morally gray, you
Law
are just
never
not sure
said
what to
that you
do.
had to forgive Almadria. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But
But what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well, I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right. And if I had to guess, killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away.
He doesn't want
Law
to
let
follow the
revenge
same
fuel him. And I think now
steps.
he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almadria when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Yeah,
Okay. Thanks, Alphen.
Alvin's really kind of grown into his own as this group's leader, and it really comes to show in some of these conversations that he's been having
back
with
then,
all these
after the
party
fight,
members.
I think I really made Xion mad. I don't know though. Maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Xion's...
Interesting. The word you're looking for is
She
interesting.
can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did that come from?
Personal experience? That's probably the best answer.
I wonder how it feels. Not being able to hold another person's hand.
And she's had to deal with that for years. Then you finally run to the man who can't feel pain. And I wonder if we're ever going to get... I'm pretty sure we're probably going to get an answer for that, like why he can't. But let's talk to Xion, and then looking at the time, we probably should wrap things up once we arrive at the ship/castle.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almadria's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cislodia, the lush green glades of Menancia, the harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its lake of death, and Nias its ruins.
Five distinct, like, regions and
I
areas that we've been
wouldn't be there
to.
if it weren't for that contest.
Say we actually manage to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Danans and the Renans then?
He probably doesn't care.
You first.
Oh, you first. Oh.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere too.
It's not going to be
It's
easy.
it's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Danans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now.
It's almost like when you get
I've
new
seen so
information,
many
your
ugly
perspective
and
can
terrible things
change.
in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Danans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it.
That's crazy.
I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed.
He's not used to doing that.
You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Xion.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dana. Always.
I can't wait to find out the origin of him not feeling pain in her roses.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
I'm guessing his identity needs to be hidden away. That is my immediate guess. Because that's what masks are used for, anonymity.
Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renaissance, right? Then you can...
There's no guarantee.
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon.
Because I remember she said that that's the only shot that
never
she
could have made it
has
this
at
far
getting rid
on
of her
my own.
thorns.
I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alvin.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
Aw, that's sweet. She admitted that they're friends. She admitted that they're friends. Heck yeah.
I wonder how much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almadria. I'll ask Mahavar.
All right, Mahavar, let's hear it. How long do we got left? The ship had a better head start than I first thought. If you want to take a nap before things pop off, now's the time. All right. So I think that just in case things get super serious super quickly, that it might be in my best interest to stop the recording before any more cutscenes pop off. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching along with me a lot of the cutscenes and the interactions that Alphen had with the rest of the cast. If you guys could do me a favor, you guys can just interact with the video, like, comment, anything that you guys need. It helps me out. It helps you out because that means I gotta make more stuff now, don't I? So thank you guys also very much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you guys all in the next one. You guys have a good rest of your day or night.